Good morning, Jan. I'm just going to talk you through this because it's so much easier than photographing and writing instructions. The first thing I'm doing at 1 centimeters is I'm just, needs to be turned on. I am sewing up my shoulder seams, multicolored threads. Do apologise. Just wanted to get this to you as quickly as possible. Right, that's shoulder seams done. Next we've got the collar. Obviously you want the right faces of the cotton to be inside. This is just the underside and the underside here. So underside, underside, and the right sides are facing each other. 1 centimeter seam allowance again. Pop that in. I don't know if you can see this, a bit wobbly, my camera. I don't know how to set this thing up properly yet. And then we just do a nice little 1 centimeter all the way around the edge. There we go. Now what we're doing is we're going to just iron this out. And then just turn that inside out so you get a nice sort of defined collar edge there. Ironing, it's not my favourite pastime. There we go. Right, so coming back here, we're going to stitch our 5mm line there on a lovely V, just so it doesn't wobble about the place. It's very important that that is able to stay sturdy. And then once that's done, I don't know if you can see. Right, I'm going to, now that's my collar, my front. I'm opening that up and I'm going to join the, excuse me, it's gone out of focus. Just going to join the collar onto that, the back. So we've got back collar, opened it up, and just joining that to there. You don't have to do this, and I'm sure you could just, sew the shoulder seams up, but I prefer to do this because I just think it looks nicer, but it doesn't have to, obviously. It's me being fussy. Oops, there's my thread. Okey-dokey. Oops. All at 1 centimeter. Then you don't want any twists in this, so once you've got your, you obviously want to sew this one up as well. So bring your, I know you can't see what I'm doing, let me just show you. We're just going to sew that one, so same thing. I'm going to open up that bit there and join it up to that one. Now back to here, what I did last time is I opened this up so it doesn't get too bulky. And just press that. That's your collar, back collar to front collar. Seam, so press that and then press it on there. So it's Okay, same with this one. Oops. And then just give the whole thing a press, just to get it happy and stuff. Good, good, good. And then, if this is my top side, or if this is how I would be looking at this from the top, then I'm just going to flip this over. Oh, don't mind my horrible stitching. Then preferably with a pencil, mark in. This is a pen. It's obviously not the best thing to use. 1 centimetre in from the edge. I think that, actually this one's not, mark that in, there you go. So we want that point there. And you get your top. So that's the front, that's the right side of the top, and you do exactly the same thing in pencil, not in pen. Because obviously pen is just, you're not going to be able to get it off. So that's your V, obviously, and then, so we're just going to mark 1 centimetre in from that edge. Yeah, so we need that point there. And then you get your collar, you flip it upside down and in reverse. Grab a pin. I like to get a pin through my first point, so I know which, obviously I've got the one that I really want, not the bad one, that one there. And pop the same exact pin through here. Make sure that the fabric is right on top of itself. It's what it's doing is it's also a nice way to notice it is that point kind of just touches the point there. So once you've got them beautifully lined up like this, just pop a pin through it. I'm going to slide my, do I slide things underneath? No, I don't think I do. Yes, I do actually. So I'm going to, and I'm getting, wherever the pin is, you pop your needle right exactly through where the pin's gone through. Get that pin out of there. And what did I do the other day? No. So you're going to have to adjust later. So you just pivot it all while the needle's in to this direction. Again, you're working on 1 centimetre. So once you've backed, you don't want to go too far back, you just want to be back enough so you know you're bang on the point. And then we just sew 1 centimetre. There all the way. Then here we get to our sort of seams. And at this point I just pop this in. Then do a little bit of a jiggle here, sort of kind of like, still want it to just go slowly and just twist them into each other, making sure that you've still got hold of the one underneath, because the one underneath is a law unto itself. But if you can kind of twist that into itself like that, then, oh, I didn't mark my notch, but you know, you have a notch on the centre back, so that kind of helps too. Let's put this light on, actually it might be useful. Don't know if that helps see anything, probably not. It's probably worse, but there you go. And about around the back centre, I just stopped, pull that out, flip it underneath, then just do it so your fabric's released and you don't have to, you know, you can just work on the left hand side of the machine and then continue to sew your your back collar onto the back tunic. Again, here you need to do that little bit of a wiggle. I'm sure you know that as well, because I know you're an experienced seamstress. And then once we get to there, you want to revisit your center of the top, which is, there you go. So what we want to do, that's the underside, that's your points here. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, that's your point, that's where you've started. And underneath, this is where your you've got a point, you're going to end up in there. So we just need to free that bit. I prefer to do that when it's on the machine rather than do it before. Now that frees up the fabric so it can be handled a lot easier. Ignore that. You know, just make it fit kind of thing. And then now I'm just sort of aligning my fabric and just trying to pull it all so it's all. I know that at the bottom end of the point it's all happy. And then on the dot you stop your last stitch. Oh, sorry, and then what I'm doing is now we've brought it to turn it inside out. Well, actually you could overlock it first really, but if we look at it now, then that's your neckline, the back collar rather, and this is your front. That's not beautiful, but you know. Right, so I've overlocked the edges inside. So what I'm going to do is, after pressing your seams down, I'm just going to get to the back, the collar, just starting from there. I'm just going to top stitch that, just the width of the half of the foot. So just keep it. What it does is it just keeps that, and then over this seam as well. So just it stops it from being too bulky and starting to get into people's necks and itching and stuff like that. So. You can't see it because it's in white, which is very not useful. But you know what? You see what I'm doing. And then just stop there again, nice tap, and then job done. The other one doesn't, the front doesn't really need to be tapped. And that just makes it sit so much better. I'll just show it to you from far. And there you go.